Hi guys, Richard here. This is the first of 2 episodes that were recorded after a move that unknowingly damaged some equipment. We replaced and corrected the problem in later episodes, but this one was hit the worst, and unfortunately some things can't be fixed in post. We apologize, and we thank you for your patience. And now, Treading the Path of Heaven, Episode 4, The Rising of the Shield Hero. The following podcast may contain spoilers.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to Treading the Path of the Heavens. I'm your host, Jonathan Kinney. I mostly read Chinese shoujo novels.
And I'm Richard. I am the Korean literature master.
Hi, I'm Bill Grimion, and I just read whatever I pick up.
Doop, doop, doop. I'm a Seth. I don't read none of the things that they read, but I still like reading.
Today we got a fun book called Tate no Yusha, which is exciting for me because it is the first book to date that we have reviewed that I haven't personally not read, so I'm looking forward to asking some exciting questions from Bill and Richard, the two who have delved into the series.
Unshockingly, I have also not read this book.
No one's surprised. I'm actually glad you're excited because this is one of the few Japanese light novels that is really good and has one of the best endings of any light novel series I've ever read. Usually, Japanese light novels have great beginnings or really generic beginnings, decent climaxes in the middle, and then they put her out at the end really badly.
Yeah, I think that's just a problem with Japanese media in general, is that like the editors and the production companies try to squeeze out everything. A lot of the times authors aren't given creative control towards the end of their product if they're making a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, Shield Hero, like, Tate no Yusha hasn't really, it's popped off. It has, a really popular manga based on it. And probably going to get an anime here pretty soon, especially considering, that last Yusha anime was pretty popular a couple seasons ago. That was another light novel I've read before. I'm trying to remember the name. It'll come back to me eventually. Well, eventually, an anime company's going to pick it up and it's going to get big. But until then, thankfully, the guy who wrote Tate no Yusha finished all of the volumes before it got popular. So, you gotta worry about it.
That's awesome. Oh, man.
It is an entire complete work.
Yes.
That said, Richard, how do we describe our main character? What is it?
Okay.
Iwatani?
I don't know. The only thing I know about this series is I had a friend that was reading it. He recommended it to me. I had never picked it up. But, he specifically said, one of the most interesting things was the main characters and the transformations he ends up going through in the story.
This is character growth, the book. The main character grows as a character. There's, maybe 12 to 15 crucial times he completely shifts as a person.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just great.
10 of which in the first 3 or 4 books. Jesus. He is put through the ringer.
So, give me an example of, one of the I guess, less spoilery ones.
Let's see. He gets there, right? Okay. So, he is, a college student, normal guy. I can't spoil... it's hard to talk about this because there's so many twists and turns. And, Bill hasn't finished the book, so I can't spoil it for him because there's even more twists and turns and an incredible climax. But
because you're totally going to read it, Seth.
He's summoned into this world, right, with 4 other people from different time periods of Earth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Different time periods.
So, there's 4 of them. There are 4 separate heroes. The hero of the spear, the hero of the sword, the hero of the bow, and the hero of the shield.
Fun fact, the hero of the shield is viciously hated by everyone in the city he's been summoned, in the country he's been summoned to.
That's so interesting because shields are typically the heroic.
But this is a super, super species, racist area he's summoned into. There's slavery. Everyone who's not a human is mistreated.
Oh yeah,
viciously.
And demi-humans run rampant, and there's really very, very little rhyme or reason.
But the demi-human, there's other country where demi-humans are the leaders, and they absolutely love the shield hero.
Okay.
He is their hero.
So he just got summoned to the wrong place.
And there's messed up politics going on because somebody's manipulating stuff way, way behind. Even Bill doesn't know. There's someone way behind the curtain, behind that curtain,
The
is
Shadow
behind
Master
that
and the-
curtain,
and the
manipulating
globalists.
everything. It's incredible. The globalist. And Shield Hero is like everyone. Like imagine you started an RPG, right? Like an MMO or an RPG, like a regular story RPG. And everyone's hand, like NPCs love you because you're the hero and all this other stuff. And there's 4 of you. And everybody gets gold and followers and help and assistance from the government and all that stuff, right?
Okay.
Except,
Yeah, the typical.
except you.
Okay.
And the one person who agrees to help you goes down the street, sets you up, and you're like, oh man, finally someone's being nice to me. You trust her. And then the next day you wake up, all of your stuff's been stolen except your shield, which she can't steal.
Because it's magically welded to your arm.
Good old curse shield.
So you're naked.
Yep.
The little bit of money you got, which was less than everyone else, is gone. And the girl who you thought was like your friend who's going to help you, not only robbed you, she's claiming you tried to rape her.
Oh man.
And
Even robbed you of your character.
and who
Incredible.
who will defend you? You're the
Nobody.
disgusting shield hero.
Nobody.
The disgusting shield racer.
Oh yeah. And they go to like arrest him, but they can't do anything because he's a hero. They really can't do anything to him. So they throw him in the streets. So he's living homeless in a world he doesn't know, what language he can't read or write. And
Does he have like the universal like
no,
translator?
no, that's not a
Just
thing.
doesn't speak it either.
No, no,
Okay,
no, no,
awesome.
So he speaks the language, and like what he says translates over to their language,
Okay, cool.
but he can't read anything. So
Right.
he's illiterate, he's poor, he's homeless, he's naked, no money, and no ability to do damage because he's a shield hero. So all of his damage is 1.
Completely reviled as well. Oh, and also, it does not allow the shield itself or any of the weapons do not allow you to equip other weapons.
You have to use it.
Oh, okay. So he's just literally.
He is stuck.
But there's advantages to this.
He is impervious to damage for the most part, especially around this town. Literally, it just itches.
He's like, oh, something bite him. It's like punch one, punch one, punch
I'm not
one,
gonna lie,
punch.
my favorite part was like the moment he was like talked down to by a shopkeeper. So he's like, oh, okay. So he walks out, gets a bunch of the mook monsters.
Oh, yeah.
And just like brings them in while they're biting him.
Oh, he lets them bite him.
And he's just like, whatever, this just itches. So he just lets them loose in the town at shopkeepers.
He becomes super frugal, and this is how he does deals. He gets these monsters that can kill people slowly, but they can. You ever played, what is the name of that? It's like a little, like, God, I can't remember it. But you kill slimes at the very beginning of the story.
Like Dragon Quest? Or?
Story?
Maple Story, Dragon Quest, any of these games where you kill slimes, these are like slimes, little balloon things.
Yeah.
And they bite. He takes like 20, 30 of them, puts it underneath his clothes, and he walks around and he's like, how much you... Also, he's hunting, and everyone in the city would rip him off because they hate him. So they won't sell him at fair prices. Or they won't sell to him at all. So to get fair price, equal prices to everyone else, he'll threaten them with the balloons, things.
Yeah. that just...
Of course, further ruining his reputation.
He doesn't care. He hates everyone.
Well, I mean, I don't blame him. It sounds awful.
hates everyone. Trusts literally no
That
one.
becomes his power. Like, when he gets friends, he can't trust them unless he enslaves them.
It's true.
Like I don't feel comfortable being around people unless they're enslaved.
Now that said, I really want to talk about his shield power.
Please do.
When you defeat monsters, they drop things. You can, for him and for the others, you feed the drops into your weapon and it unlocks things you can do with your trees and whatnot.
Okay.
But it's different for each of them, but it isn't.
It's one of those things where the way your shield develops is based on your knowledge of progression from the games you played in the previous world.
Okay.
So the better you are at games, the better you are at navigating these menus and upgrades.
And they all stack, and they were supposed to work together, but because everyone hates each other, this is the thing. Because people aren't good people, this is what this story is about. People suck, and these are just normal people. They're conniving, they'll backstab you, they're hateful, they're terrible people.
Each and every one of the heroes, quote unquote, because really and truthfully, none of these 4 are heroes. But they were just like, mildly brainwashed or like with their own like idealism. Like, I'm a hero. This is a game. I can just
or
do
they're
whatever
not
I
treating
want.
they're not treating these actual living people like they're human beings.
They're treating them like NPCs.
One of them treats them just like NPCs. The other one like obsessed with women and dating and shit.
Got it. Spear Hero is the worst.
He gets better eventually.
Worst.
Like that's the one thing. All the heroes change.
Oh yeah.
Everything, like every character that they introduce is important in some way later on in the story, and no one's ever forgotten. It has continuity.
That is true. Like, there are people I thought were forgotten that just like poke their head in just an odd random encounter. Like, he was going to a city to sell stuff, and suddenly he runs into this guy.
Those are my favorite kind of things, when they build on like small details that happened to just like fill out and flesh out a scene in an early piece, and then later on that becomes like a focal point of just like an arc. That's always fun.
I think my favorite piece of continuity is there's this old lady. He saves on his way, like peddling. He just becomes a peddler, and I wish I could talk more about this. But she shows up later. Come to find out, this is like the Fist of the North Star lady. And then she's like, "I'm gonna train some people in the town you set up," and it's great. This old lady is incredible. Like, ridiculous. Like.
Okay, so another thing about his shield and the upgrade system, a lot of the things he picks up are jobs. So
like secondary classes?
Kind of. It's sort of like his cooking skill gets amazing. Yeah. So he just becomes better at cooking than anyone around him. He becomes better at like making potions and medicine.
He's the only guy that decides to start crafting because no one will help him, so he helps himself. Because the Shield Hero is all about like working together with your team.
Yeah,
and helping
it makes
everyone.
Sense thematically.
But they also become like there's another thing another thing about the weapons, the Sin series.
Oh man!
And there's also a Curse series and a Bless series later. But like that becomes really important. And also there's more than like the four major heroes have to come from Outworld and they're summoned. But there's also 7 minor heroes that are born within this world. And there's stuff going on behind it. The scenes that are...
And one of the...
Alright, so like you guys are just like describing a lot of like silly, like cool, really cool sounding stuff. Like honestly, but like... So it sounds like what's like really like making this like stand out is like that it has an excellently written plot.
Plot's incredible. I just can't talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I get it. It's spoilers. We try to be very spoiler free here on this podcast, like describing stuff mostly from its
broad
initial
strokes.
points. Yeah. We are planning on potentially doing like bonus episodes.
Treading the Path of Heaven Nights would be great.
Where we just talk about just like complete full spoilers on stuff. I just mostly want to just talk about cool shit in Coiling Dragon. I mean, like, Hammers, man. Hammers.
I want to talk about Coiling Dragon so bad. And I also want to talk about this story so bad. Because, like, once you know the plot, talking about it becomes super fun. Because you're like, man, the way they did this and the way they execute that ending is so satisfying. Like, this is diverging, but I love a great bookend to a series. Like, that's a problem a lot of movies, stories, TV shows, anime, mangas have. They don't know how to end. So to read something, especially something Japanese, that knows how to correctly end itself is like cathartic. Like when you end, you're like, that was great. And there's no way to continue this. And I'm happy.
That makes perfect sense to me. Like, honestly, I think probably more books have given me more cathartic experiences than probably anything else in my life. I remember finishing the end of the Wheel of Time and just like sitting outside staring at nature for 2 hours. Because like that was just all I could handle. I just had to like feel.
Oh man. Another fun thing about it is I like the story arc that the main character goes through from beginning to end.
Okay.
Because at his core, he's a good, kind person.
Okay.
But because he's been put down so much, he can't stop roasting people verbally. Like
he's okay, kidding. He's very much Kuroyanagi if like you just transposed him and made him a shield dude who everyone hated for a bit. Like,
All right.
because like the way he tears people apart, and he enjoys it. He revels in like.
He wants you to fail. Like he'll save your life, and he'll make fun of you the whole time he's saving your life. And then when you walk away, he'll have enjoyment. Like if you trip and fall down, he'll laugh openly. He just enjoys it. Because you don't know what suffering is. Because my life is suffering, and I want you to suffer.
Maybe if you suffer, you can understand it.
That sounds like a very fun character that I would like to read. Roast people. Very much so.
Oh, it's great.
I think honestly, like all the things I read out of the Asian literature, like I think that's kind of the stuff I really read it for. It's just the main characters getting up on a pedestal and put somebody in their fucking place. Like,
oh man,
Like Martial God Asura, ATG, like,
just so
Desolate
many, like,
Era.
just characters with boldness in their actions and their word choices.
As we mentioned in previous
Mung-Hao!
episodes, characters that don't have to be good guys.
Yeah, no, like I love that philosophy of balance in characters. So they're good and evil, and the good parts of them are extremely good, and the evil parts of them are the best kind of evil.
oh man, it's like everyone is like neutral evil in a good way. It's great. Like that's what I love the most about Desolate Era is that the character does whatever he wants, and this one is imagine a character that does whatever he wants, but unfortunately has to deal with the consequences of the world hating him around him, and he's not so powerful that he trivializes them. Is that because he still has to function in this world, he has to deal with it until way later when things go crazy that I can't talk.
Oh, we skipped over the reason why they were summoned here in the first place. Okay, so there are these things called waves, where just a bunch of monsters just spew out of an area, and these heroes are supposed to deal with it.
Yeah, waves.
And in between the
I play
waves,
video games, sure.
Yeah.
in between the waves, they're supposed to go out in the world, gain experience, gain drops, and
Help people.
help people, and
Yeah.
generally gain more followers
Video
to
games.
bring back into the
They're
waves.
not doing the waves.
Yeah.
Only the shield hero's doing the waves by himself. By the way, you haven't got here. This is more political scumbaggery of the world they're in because something is manipulating the world to make things fail. And by the way, this is a slight spoiler. There's a multiverse. There's a real multiverse, and this stuff is important. And there, like, stuff is happening. And I want to talk about it, but I can't. But the shield heroes are supposed to be decided where they're summoned across the world. Waves are happening everywhere, not just this country.
Okay.
Wait, so he's
All of the heroes got summoned into this one country,
And only one of them's doing their job.
and they cheated. And one guy's doing the job because everyone else is terrible.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a story of everyone is terrible, the show, the movie, the experience.
And when good people show up, they get suffering
Yep. Good people are not allowed to be good for too long.
because they get taken out real fast.
Or that they get like turned into a slave, or they
Or mind destroyed, or like it's real good. It's main character who's great getting suffering, but he's so used to suffering that it rolls off his back, so he can cause more suffering to you.
I mean, like that's I don't know. Maybe it's not a key component of all Asian literature, but I think that like the heroes almost always have a lot of tragedy in their past, and that's like what motivated them usually at like a young age to succeed, and that like starts the burning of their potential. I mean,
not this guy.
well, yeah.
He was a college student who was raised to be like the head son, but then his younger brother was like a prodigy, so
Way better than him in every way.
all of the pressure got lifted off.
So he's like, I can just do whatever I want.
Hey, so he just dicked around and played games.
nice.
beautiful.
And then
It ended up being training.
and then got summoned to this world where he just took his game training.
But his game training like doesn't come into effect till after he's like so awful at things. It's not like weed where he's just great at games and doesn't realize it.
Legendary Moonlight Sculptor.
Yeah. It's more like the hidden passive bonus of being good at games comes into play much later. It's more like, hey, you're dropped here, you can't read, everything sucks. Your endurance is what matters. His force of will to survive long enough to fuck these people over.
Oh yeah, no. He refuses to allow himself to die until everyone else has.
I kind of love that. Like, I love that all of his like his motivations and his emotions are like shield themed. It's all like very on motif. That's awesome.
Yeah, no.
They picked the right guy to be the shield guy?
No, they picked the right guy to be each of the guys. Like, each of the guys are...
Well, I mean, the spear guy would think with his penis.
Oh my god, I just thought about that.
Sword guy is completely straightforward, does not move backwards, will not take things back.
Bow guy thinks he's Batman.
Sneaky bow! Sneaky archer!
Dex-based characters, man. What you gonna do?
God, it's like... It's sad, too. He's not the worst.
He's the
third worst.
He's kind of a stupid asshole later, but like, it's real fun, and like because he's a shield hero, his endurance is so high that like the only way he can like enjoy, he can't really get drunk at all. So like they have these fruits. He has these fruits, whatever. Right? This is how he proves that he's the shield hero. All right. When people are just like, oh, you're the shield hero, prove it. Eat this. He was in a thing just eating it because he thought it was a delicious fruit. Mm-hmm. But it's actually the core of all of their alcohol that they use. They breed it from this fruit that is so powerful that people eat it, they get alcohol poisoning and die.
Yeah. No, this is like they take the alcohol and dilute it with water.
They dilute with water.
To survive.
This is some like recent absolute choice shit right up in here.
And he just sits there just munching on them. And people look around him and they're just stunned and horrified. Like,
that man's
what is
gonna
going
die all at once here in a minute.
Yeah, like, people will, like, challenge him to drinking contests and lose and then have to, like, pay him. And he doesn't even ask for it. They just come up and willingly are like, you!
What killed me is Spear thought he was nice because he wanted to prove himself to like the shield hero's companion / future lover or whatever, and he's like, yeah man, check this out. And he sees like he's just sitting here, and the main character has a constant grimace on his face. He is always upset, so upset that later when he has like some weird shield stuff makes him like happy and nice, everyone is creeped out and terrified.
Yeah,
because him being nice is the scariest thing in existence. Something is wrong. But like, they show up and he's just eating. And the guy's like, oh, what are you eating? Like, I'll take one. And he eats it. And the guy goes into like a coma for like 4 days. It is incredible.
And he tries to blame it on him. And that's the thing.
Oh yeah, he tried to poison me.
No one has a brain or no one cares. Those are the two things. Because like, they either come up with faulty logic and don't care that it's faulty, they'll just beat him out because he's the hero of the shield, or they come up with faulty logic because they don't have any other way to answer themselves as to why he's winning.
Also, class ups are a thing in this. We talked about that. But again, politics are so bad. He's so hated that him and his companions, for the longest time, aren't allowed in the main city of this country to use the class up altar. So they have to stay back at their initial levels because they won't let them class up.
It's just the blockade that the police put up in RPGs, like, you know, like it's no, you can't leave Onett, you have to go to resolve all of our problems first.
No, the bridge isn't done yet.
There is a shield that allows him to teleport back to the main city.
It's got
sort of like a Hearthstone. He doesn't get it until like...
Everyone else got it immediately, except him. So he's walking everywhere.
Like, everywhere.
I'd say good physical training, but what's it gonna do? Let him do 2 damage?
He doesn't like grind, did he? Like, what's that gonna do?
He eventually does by getting pointy shields.
Oh, nice. It's like Mick Macbeth, the dwarven shield fighter I made once.
A frost spike shield on one arm, a fire spike shield on the other.
That was actually terrifying. It did way too much damage.
There's this part where he's like, man, I'm really tough. Let me just set myself on fire and run at people.
I mean, this will be effective, I'm sure.
I love broken items because, like, I don't know, like, I just, like, Eastern literature lets their characters use their items in broken ways, like, that in ways that Western characters just aren't allowed to. Like, they can be lucky. They can have the stupid things happen on their side and not, like, in the climax. They just do it for humor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just to show off how cool their characters can be. Because, like, he's really lame, if you just look at him like how he is, until like he has those moments where he's just like, all right, I guess I gotta go buck wild, and then people just die.
He's so smart in like using his people, and his companions are so good. Like his companions would be main characters in genre novels, especially the bird he raises up she's ridiculous. She's like the queen's daughter, like the queen of the chocobo of this world.
Basically,
daughter that's been around since the foundation of this world. She's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And like his other lady, like they work hard because they have to work hard, all of them, because they're with him, they gotta struggle. The companions for all the other heroes are worthless. They do nothing. And when they meet up and they do like, we're gonna switch for synergy, we're gonna switch companions for a little bit for a little short period of time. And it's the worst thing ever because the people are like, wow, why is the shield hero making us do stuff? I don't understand.
Oh God, why aren't we just chasing after women?
No. He had no guys on his crew. Do not get that. Like, Spear Dude only had chicks.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's an Irvine.
So like and his chicks were the worst. Especially
oh my God.
with the shield.
Especially Bitch. Bitch is the worst.
Well, that's his name, Bitch.
She is named Bitch.
That's some nominative determinism, actually.
What did he name the king?
Trash.
Oh, yo, that became Trash's official name. I don't know if you got to that part where the queen, where it's his official, it's his actual name.
He is now named Trash.
Everyone in the world has to call Trash. He doesn't have a name anymore.
He went down to City Hall and registered it.
No, the queen did that for him.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, no. You're trash. You're terrible. Hold that. But yeah, Tata, you should read it. Like, find a good translation. Get the official translation on volume 9 now. One of my favorite volumes is way later, but they're on volume 9 now in the official English translation. You can pick it up at like Barnes & Noble and stuff now.
Oh, nice.
It is a great read. It's quite a page turner. I know I finished the entire series in 1 week. It was like Christmas break of my senior year in college. And I sat there on my couch in the dark reading. And I didn't move. I literally got up, got some water, got some food, sat back down. All my roommates were out of town with their families. I was alone for Christmas, which is Tate no Yusha, and it got me through that Christmas break. It was magical.
I have endorphins running through my body just listening to that story.
I wish I could do that again. Like one of these days, I'm going to take off of work for personal time and just read. Like, do nothing, just read.
That's how I want my adult vacations to be. I want to just like go to a cabin on a mountain somewhere with like facilities, and then just like lounge and read.
That's like I didn't realize how good I had it as a kid because I could do that anytime I wanted.
I know, right?
And I didn't take advantage.
Youth is wasted on the young.
Now I got to do all my important things and like procrastinate all my adult things to read. Make that choice every time.
Anything to add? Anybody? For Tate no Yusha, any questions?
It sounds like a fascinating book, and I will have read some of it by the next time we get back here.
That sounds great.
All right,
and cool. Of course, we like record another podcast immediately after this one. We'll see.
And we'll see.
That's true.
And
nah, man, just buckle down. You got it. Bear down for Tate no Yusha.
Bear down for Tate no Yusha.
That dog for midterms.
That dog.
Whoa.
But no. Okay. Well, yeah. No, I think I'm probably going to check this book out.
What's going to be our next book? Out of curiosity.
I know we talked about doing Desolate Era, which I would definitely be down for.
Desolate Era, real good.
There's also. Have we done I Shall Seal the Heavens?
Yeah, my other suggestion would be I Shall Seal the Heavens, because that one, as of this recording, finished like less than a month ago.
Oh.
And I personally just read the ending. It was an incredible work. So I'm down for either one. But I guess we'll decide that in the interim. So come back next week and you'll find out.
Mm-hmm. It'll definitely be Chinese, though.
So I guess if that is the case, that brings us to our final segment of the evening.
All right, everybody. Welcome to Kamen Rider versus... Sean.
You're really bad at this, huh, Seth?
I have failed every time so far, but I think the game is fixed, if I'm to be honest.
Nah, that's crazy.
Nah, man.
You're crazy. Crazy enough to have these three lines coming right at you. First off, is this a Kamen Rider or a Janja novel main character? He has an incredibly sharp tongue. He comes from the best bloodline.
The best.
And you could say he walks the path of heaven.
I know this one. I know this one because it's the best Kamen Rider that ever was. Kamen Rider Kabuto.
You got it right! Oh my god, for the first time, Seth has won
Yay!
Kamen Rider versus Janja.
I'm very happy with myself.
And you know what you won, Seth?
What's his prize?
His prize is an entirely new podcast that we're going to be recording called Kamen Rider Discourse. Stay tuned.
Tell me more. Wait, no, don't tell me more. Tell me more later. That's the point of stay tuned. Yeah!
All right, everybody.
I hate all of you.
That's very fair. All right, everybody. This has been Treading the Path of the Heavens. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. Please rate and or subscribe us. Leave a review for us wherever you're downloading this. It would be very appreciated. And we'll see you back next week with either I Shall Seal the Heavens or Desolate Era. Have a great night.
We'll miss you.